Hey guys, welcome back to the Real Deal Podcast. As always, I'm your host, Keeona, and I'm back with Zach.
Hello.
And I'm here with Cade.
Hi.
How you guys doing?
I'm doing fine.
Pretty swell, you know.
Wonderful weather we're having today, right?
Yeah, very, very cold.
I'm very tired, you know. It's what the weather does to you.
I could have sworn it was like almost snowing outside today.
Look, I don't mind the snow. It's just that we're in October. I expected we get snow by...
Sorry.
No, it's all
You're
good.
good.
But I just expected that we just... Great, now I lost my train of thought. But, like I said, I don't mind the snow. I just thought that snow would come around like mid-November because it's still October and it's not close to winter yet. But hey, we live in Indiana. It's bipolar weather.
Yeah.
But
I used to live in Chesterton, so the lake effect would just make it worse. I heard it snowed like a decent chunk at home already, so yeah.
Mother Nature, what are you doing to us? But we have a great show for you guys today, and one thing that I want to start off with is talking about none other than Brendan Fraser. And to be honest, I don't really have a lot of knowledge about who he is. I mean, I did some research last night, and the only thing that I think I remember him from is being in this movie, Journey to the Center of the Earth. That's the only thing I've heard that I've watched that he's been in that I know of.
Yeah, you've never seen the Mummy movies that he did in the 90s?
No, I don't.
Those are actually really good movies. I rewatched the first one last year with a big group of my friends, and it's such an infectious movie that you should really it's best experience with a group of friends. Like, I feel like, especially in a theater, it'd just be infectious with just the joy it gives off. And Brendan Fraser is part of that reason. He's such a charismatic, good guy. It felt like Indiana Jones for the 90s, kind of. Like, not full-on Indiana Jones, because there are other characters, but it's so charming, and the movies are so fun, and he's been known for a lot of stuff throughout his career. He was in George of the Jungle, Journey to the Center of the Earth. He was in this Looney Tunes movie called Back in Action when they were doing the live action mixed with cartoon stuff.
You know, now that you say George of the Jungle, I'm like, wait a minute.
He had a full-on wig. It was
wait, I'm thinking of another George of the Jungle. Never mind.
I remember him best from a movie called Blast from the Past, where he was the son of like Christopher Walken and this other lady, and they were in a bomb shelter he grew up in a bomb shelter in the 60s, and he emerged in like 1995 or something, and he doesn't realize, and he has to like live in this modern world. It's a funny movie. It hasn't aged well. Well, it hasn't aged well, but it's certainly a watch.
All right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm just looking at his entire repertoire of movies, and okay, he was in the movie Give Me Shelter, which has Vanessa Hudgens, and I've seen that movie at least 3 times. I would have never thought he would have been in that movie. But wait, what role did he play? Okay. I think he either played the guidance counselor or the father of that movie. But okay, I get it.
The big movie, like, he hasn't been seen for a while. He's starting to make a comeback with a film that premiered called The Whale, and he's also in Martin Scorsese's new film. He was going to be in The Batgirl before Warner Bros. hatcheted that movie for tax write-off. Warner Bros. Shouldn't be doing that. But anyways, his last big film, and this like started the whole like disappearance of Brendan Fraser, was Furry Vengeance. And I remember watching it, and yeah, it's not a good movie. I love Brendan Fraser, and but a lot of people just remember this. Like, after this movie came out, he just disappeared for a while, and now he's starting to make a comeback, and which I'm happy he is, because he's a really talented actor, and the response to The Whale so far is really good. I heard when it premiered, it had a 6-minute standing ovation.
I thought it was 10 minutes.
Was it? Hang on, I thought...
5 or 10, either way.
It was a long standing ovation.
Yeah, I just remember, like, what I remember best was, like, what I remember best from the end of his, like, before his disappearance, he was in a lot of, like, really, really bad movies. Like, there was one movie that was a live-action remake of a cartoon from the 60s, and there was, like, I think Blast and Past was one of them, and there was Looney Tunes Back in Action, were just all really goofy movies that didn't do too well, and then he just, after that, disappeared.
And it says it says he was supposed to be in the Batgirl movie that got scraped.
Yeah, he was going to be
Oh.
playing Firefly, and no, I think after Batgirl got canned, they started releasing back behind the scenes footage, and there was
Shame on you, HBO, by the
Yeah.
way.
yeah, shame on the guy who owns Discovery that yeah, but anyways, because they merged, but there was a video that showed up from behind the scenes where when it was Brendan Fraser's birthday on set, they all surprised him with a birthday cake and sang happy birthday. It was so wholesome.
That's really cool.
Yeah,
That's so sweet.
yeah.
And funny enough, he was born in Indianapolis.
I did not know that. That's cool.
Nice.
Naptown, baby.
Yeah, but he wouldn't. Yeah, just I guess you know who else is a good Hoosier actor? James Dean.
He was born in Indianapolis?
Yeah, he was he was born an hour from here. It's my Halloween costume this year.
Marion, Indiana. Oh,
Yeah,
wait,
it's
that's the same thing.
Yeah, it's
Oh, right, without
an hour from here, 2 hours from here.
Okay.
Yeah, nice.
Fun fact. But yeah, I am so sad I haven't seen the Mummy. That's the thing. Whenever people mention these types of movies that are so relevant to our culture and to our entertainment, like for example, The Godfather. I've never seen The Godfather, and I want to watch it, but I just don't know whether or not I would want to watch it with a group of people or just by myself.
You go first.
I feel like you should watch it on your own. It's a 3-hour movie.
Ugh.
And
I've seen 2 3-hour-long movies, so Titanic and Endgame. So
I mean, a lot of people today can't really watch 3-hour movies. Like a lot of people in groups can, but I usually find them better to watch on your own, the longer the movie.
Yeah. And the thing about The Godfather, I feel like you can watch movies like that with people, but when I said, oh, you should watch The Mummy with friends, The Godfather's a different story because, it's not, okay, it's a great movie. I actually watched it for the very first time this year, and so I have this thing with some movies where people praise them and say, oh, they're one of the best things ever. Sometimes I, find it as an overreaction, or I get the hype. And with The Godfather, it was one of the first things where I just kind of had no reaction, visibly on the outside, but, after I finished it, I'm like, yeah, it was one of the best films I've ever seen. Okay. Just shrugging it off, but, I don't know, it's a very good movie, but back to what I was saying, it's not one of those movies like The Mummy where I'm like, oh, you gotta see it with friends, it's infectiously fun. It's The Godfather, so, yeah.
I feel like more of the best group movies came in the 90s, because that's the Godfather and all that. A lot of movies in the 70s, there's not really movies you can get a lot of chuckles out from today.
yeah.
There's a couple I can't think of any, but I think there's a couple that I'll talk about later about. But the 90s are just chock full of just really movies you can just watch together.
Yeah. But to go back to his new movie, The Whale, real quick before we go on to our next subject. What is that movie about? Per se?
I've been pretty distant on details, and that was kind of on purpose. Usually if there's a movie I hear is really good, I don't look up too many plot details or even the trailer.
That makes sense. All I know is that Darren Aronofsky is directing that movie.
Oh, okay. Hang on. The Whale is a 2022 American psychological drama film directed by from the screenplay written by. Okay, that only goes
Oh, wait a
over-
minute. Here it is.
Okay, there you go.
A reclusive English teacher living with severe obesity attempts to reconnect with his estranged teenage daughter for one last chance of redemption.
All right.
Oh, I'd watch that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's distributed by A24. I really like A24, and I am personally really looking forward to this film. It comes out the day before my birthday, so I'm definitely looking forward to it.
Yeah,
so.
that's a great
Oh,
happy
yeah,
birthday.
you just said your birthday was December 10th. I forgot.
Yeah.
But, all right then. Well, that's something that I would definitely watch. But, Zach, we're about to change subjects because he is ready to dive deep into what we're going to talk about next.
Oh boy.
It's all about Ezra Miller, who pleaded not guilty to the charges that were being pinned against him. Like I said, and that's another actor who I don't really know much about. All I know is that he was supposed to be in a live-action remake of The Flash, but then he did some stuff, and, he got charged for it, and he pleaded not guilty. That's the thing with these type of celebrity mishaps. I just don't like to read too much into it, or else I'm going to get, too involved in it, because, if he gets arrested, he gets arrested. But then, like, if he pleads guilty, it's just like all these like factors that come into play. I'm just like, do I care enough? Do I care enough? And should I care? It's just one of those questions. But
Yeah. Personally with me, Ezra Miller, okay, so I've been following the DC movies and a decent chunk of his career for a while because especially back in 2016 when they started showing up, I was big into superhero movies. Like they appeared in Batman vs Superman and then Justice League, made a cameo on the Flash show, made a cameo in Peacemaker with Aquaman. I forgot the actor's name.
He did?
Jason Momoa.
Yeah, okay, that's actually a spoiler. At the end of Peacemaker, after they save the day, they're walking away, and the Justice League show up, and Peacemaker's like, "You guys are late. We already did it." And
I mean, I didn't know that he appeared in Aquaman, or is it?
Peacemaker.
Oh, I don't know that movie.
Oh, John Cena. Yeah.
Yeah, with John Cena. It was a TV show on HBO Max. It's actually pretty good. It continues off.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
So
I've never seen it, but I know what you're talking
Yeah,
about.
me neither.
yeah,
Me neither.
I've been following their career for so long, and this year I have a page pulled up that goes over everything that happened this year,
God.
and even back in 2020, there was a red flag that I remember back when it first happened. My friends brought it up, and we're like, "Okay, that was weird," but this year, it just completely went bananas, and especially because there's a lot more things that are just crazy with how Warner Bros. Is handling this situation, and just the Flash movie in general, because I'm sure with everything Ezra Miller is doing, especially because they have a like $1 million movie, like more than millions of dollars, like hundreds of millions of dollars movie on their hands, they don't want to cancel it. However, a lot of their other actions have been contradicted. Just it's stupid. So first thing from April 2020, Ezra Miller appears to choke a woman outside a bar. There's I think there's a clip of it outside that I've seen. Like Ezra Miller starts choking her, and I think they try to say it was an accident or something or misunderstanding. Okay, so now here's where everything really happens. In March 2020, Ezra Miller is charged with disorderly conduct and harassment. Another thing from March 2022, Ezra Miller gets a restraining order filed against them. April 2022, Ezra Miller is arrested on a second-degree assault charge. June 2022, Ezra Miller is accused of grooming. Another thing in June 2022, another parent comes forward with allegations against Ezra Miller. In August 2022, Ezra Miller is accused of burglary. Another thing from August 2022, Vermont State Police tried to serve an emergency care order to a mother staying at Ezra Miller's home. Another thing from August, Ezra Miller reveals they're seeking treatment for complex mental health issues. I do think Ezra Miller should get help. That's good.
All I
And
gotta
then-
say is, boy, sit your butt down.
And
That's all
then-
I gotta say.
On Twitter, I saw this recently. Ezra Miller could be facing 26 years in prison. And so how has Warner Bros. Responded to this? Warner Bros. Are still having the Flash movie go forward, and it's insane because there's so much controversy with Ezra Miller in general, and they're just scraping it under the rug, spending
That's-
so much money trying to just be like, oh, that doesn't exist. Don't worry about Ezra
That's the
Miller.
sad thing about the industry these days. No, like I would say Kanye West, for example. I don't like Kanye because I've always tried to say this. I try to separate whenever celebrities. I try to separate the artist from the person.
Yeah, that's a good way
because
of
there's
thinking it.
because there's a distinctive difference. But with Kanye right now, he's just saying like all these things like. And because he has bipolar disorder, which I get, I'm empathetic to that, but then at the same time, there's a line that people shouldn't cross when it comes to saying certain things out in the open, and I think he's taken it a little too far. Like, you have kids, like, for the sake of your kids, like, stop. But then at the same time, I just feel like he's doing this just to get a uproar at everybody so that he can stay relevant, even though I know it's not the same as Ezra Miller, but then, like, there's like a certain limit that people need to understand. Like, when you mess up, people are going to see it, especially with social media and with the news making it so like aggravated these days. Like, it's so excessive that no matter what, like, depending on what you do, the media has a way of twisting it and pouring more salt into the wound to make it look like you're the bad person. And obviously with Ezra Miller, these things are obviously true because obviously we've seen it, and you know it's been reported. So it's like the sad thing, like, celebrities mess up, but then like the industry still tends to put their projects out in the open so that they can make a quick buck.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Do
it's-
you have
so-
something to say about it?
I will say this about it. So I'm aware of what's going on right now. I've seen the things, I've seen the notices and all that, and I think they're just a nut. I think this is a nut that's acting out for attention and just doing everything they can to do bad things, like for just attention. And maybe they do need help. Maybe
Yeah.
they need to be like go to some program or something. I've seen the body cam footage, and that was something. I'll tell you that. But yeah.
But then, like, for me, like, whenever people do bad, I mean, like I said, I'm an empathetic person. My heart really does go out to them because I hope and I pray that they get the help that they need, and I hope that they can get better. But then, like, it's also a sad reality because people have seen it, and, and cancel culture and everything, like, they're saying, oh, you're canceled because of this. Oh, you're canceled because of this. Like, it's a very conflicting and confusing thing, but, like, people make mistakes, but like when they make mistakes on a caliber of fame like this, especially in the entertainment industry, it's whether you can come back for that. And with Ezra Miller, it's sad to say that I don't think he'll be able to come back from all that.
Yeah, especially with it's still going on. I feel like every month it's just like, hey, Ezra Miller did something again. It's like, why? Stop breaking the law. It's like that scene from Liar Liar with Jim Carrey on the phone, like, stop breaking the law! But
That's a good
especially
movie,
just
by the
Warner
way.
Bros. Dealing with the situation.
The pen is
Yeah, and to reverse the topic real quick, Ezra did, like you said, he did guest star on the CW show The Flash with Grant Gustin, and everybody has been saying that, Grant Gustin should, take over, playing The Flash because he's played it for so long and he's experienced with it. The only problem is that they've already filmed that movie, even though I'm not opposed to that idea if HBO wanted to remake that movie, but then like you said, like they've handled the situation not in the best way under the circumstances that has been presented to them with Ezra, but I wouldn't be opposed to it.
Yeah, I agree with you on that. I feel like, if they want to remake it, they should remake it.
Yeah, but then like for me personally, whenever a celebrity messes up, especially, but it just depends on the situation, like I'm not going to judge solely on that celebrity because they made a mistake. It depends on how they make up for that going forward.
Yeah.
But then, obviously Ezra has done not the best things in the brightest light, but then, like, I'm just a believer that some people can be redeemed and some people can't. But can he be redeemed? I don't know. If he can own up to his mistakes and take responsibility for his actions, and then, if he can make up for that in the near future, only time will tell. But it really is a sad thing to, like, talk about.
I mean, I agree with you. There have been plenty of celebrities since the founding of Hollywood that have gone at, like, that have actually done something bad and come back from it. And that's still going on. It's a tale as old as time in Hollywood.
Yeah, and when it comes to these stories, and I said this last week, we don't know the whole story about what really goes on in these celebrities because we don't know them personally.
Yeah.
We only know what we hear instead of looking at the direct source, and we don't know the direct source. And it's a sad reality. Like Hollywood has a way of making making profits without looking at the consequences of what this actor or this actress did. And then, that mistake is going to be out in the open with social media, and, they're going to have to look back at like 5 or 10 years later and then look at the consequences of what they've done, and it's not going to be in the brightest light. It's not going to be portrayed in the brightest light.
No, and the thing is, recently Warner Bros. Has been turning way too many things to tax write-offs, like completely scrapping shows that already exist, like Infinity Train,
CW out there.
Close Enough, like so many countless shows, and creators, like it's leading to a lot of people seeing as Warner Bros. As unprofessional and not a good client to work with, and that's very understandable. And my question is, with all the stuff they've been scrapping, why are they protecting the Flash movie with their life? Why are, this movie better be, it better change our world as we know it if they're saving it with this much controversy and with them scrapping so many other way better projects and not even just scrapping them, like
I
completely
know.
restricting them.
I know. And
Yeah.
you have the CW's The Flash show. That show is great. And speaking of the CW, it is also connected to Warner Brothers. Y'all pretty much scrapped your entire CW lineup. I've said this before, and I will keep on saying it. Like, y'all keep on saying the Dare to Defy, right? Like, y'all scraped y'all entire like CW lineup with old shows and new TV shows. All of them are great, but you guys pretty much scraped the whole like diversity and representation of the shows that you had on the CW. And like, what else do people have to watch for? I'm sorry to get like all heated and passionate about it, but
No,
when you're
you're
talking
fine.
about something, you got to be passionate. Like,
Yeah.
it's passion, and I'm passionate about most of the shows that were on the CW because they were great shows and they had great representation for Black people and the LGBT QI plus community and everything. So the fact that they did that, it just makes me sad for all those people out there. But I have hope that it'll turn around and get better. But we are out of time, so I want to thank you both for joining me today.
Yep, thanks for
And
having us.
Yeah, thanks.
a very passionate conversation today. And thank you guys so much for watching, and we will see you guys next week. Bye.
Bye.